Hello my friends, Jeff Davis here, coming to you from my home in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Love it here. Today's video is going to focus on my friend Dan Blanchard and his books. Dan Blanchard is an award-winning author, he's an educator, he's a speaker, he's a youth leadership expert, he's involved in all sorts of organizations. I'm incredibly impressed by his involvement in the community. And I recently read, cover to cover, the entire books, two of his books. The first one being The Storm, How Young Men Become Good Men, and the second one being, which is a sequel to the first book, A Sprint to the Top, How to Win the Game of Life. And the book, A Sprint to the Top, is coming out soon. Dan Blanchard will be launching this book soon. So I'd like to briefly share with you a little bit about the books, how much I enjoyed them, and encourage you to also check them out. The main character of this story is a teen named Dakota. And Dakota is a very talented person. He's a very talented teen. He has involvement in sports, specifically football and wrestling. Also, when he applies himself, he's good at school as well. He also has a lot of challenges. One of the big challenges Dakota faces is that Dakota has an abusive, alcoholic father, which is very difficult to deal with. Very hard for any teen, and I want to share with you that what I love about these books is it's so realistic. The challenges Dakota faces are so realistic. Dan Blanchard has great dialogue. He has amazing lessons, wonderful quotes, wonderful insights, and these insights not only apply to teens, but really to educators and to adults and to people of all walks of life. So, to tell you very briefly a little bit more about the first book, The Storm, Dakota ends up having this epic heart-to-heart conversation with his granddaddy during literally a rainstorm. They're covered in under some kind of pavilion which blocks the rain out, and it was actually in between Dakota's football and wrestling season, so he had the afternoon free to talk with his granddaddy, and his granddaddy just shares all of these wonderful lessons that sincerely benefit Dakota, helping Dakota get through his struggles, his challenges, his setbacks, his doubts, as we all have, including teens. So that's why I really love the first book. There's so much in that, so check out his book, check out The Storm, How Young Men Become Good Men, and share it around. I also want to focus and emphasize the sequel to The Storm, Dan Blanchard's second book in this particular series. He's actually written more than two books, but right now I'm referring to this particular series. And the second book in this series is called, as I mentioned earlier, A Sprint to the Top, How to Win the Game of Life. And like the first book, it's packed with powerful quotes and insights, great lessons. I mean, Dan Blanchard does a wonderful job of being descriptive about some of the doubts Dakota is having, and trying to meet up with his granddaddy again. There's a story behind that. Also, later on in the book, Dan Blanchard shares Dakota's wrestling tournament in Dakota's quest to become an All-American wrestler. And what's powerful about that is the lessons Dakota learns as he faces those struggles are just so insightful and helpful that I definitely recommend checking it out, especially for the way Dan describes these awesome wrestling matches. So as we bring this all together, the two big reasons why I emphasize that Dan Blanchard is an incredible author, in fact he's an award-winning author, and why it's worth checking out his books are, one, he's just an awesome guy. He's sincere, he's genuine, he cares about people. It's the kind of guy that's worth following and worth checking out. And two, these books are impactful. Dan Blanchard's making an impact on our teens, on our youth, and also on the world, on adults and on people in general with the way he puts himself out there. So knowing that not only will this book benefit you, but when you share this work with other people, it'll help benefit the world. That's what's so powerful about this. So please check out The Storm, and also check out the upcoming sequel, which is A Sprint to the Top. Now, in the description of this YouTube video are two book reviews. I left two book reviews on my website, jeffdspeaks.com, of these two books. They're both individual blog posts. Also in the link below, in the description, is a link to Dan Blanchard's website, granddaddysecrets.com. I have a link right below, granddaddysecrets.com, and I encourage you to sign up for Dan Blanchard's newsletter. He has a lot of great content. Like I said, he's inspirational, he cares for others, he's a great guy to follow. So definitely feel free to look in the description below so you can check out those resources. And I encourage you to also check out his books. I liked and loved both of them. Powerful insights, great content, and just an all-around awesome writing style from Dan. The Storm, and then the sequel, A Sprint to the Top. Check them out. Like this video, share this video around with your friends and family members. Let's spread the word. Let's help Dan get the word out there about his books. And I will see you, my friend, at the mountaintop.